This video is brought to you by my two books, Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist and The Blues Guitar Bible. Want to learn about modes, harmony, scales, chord substitution and keys? Or maybe you're interested in supercharging your blues guitar rhythm and lead chops. Whatever you're interested in, I guarantee you will be hitting the fast lane to progress with either of these works. Both feature video demonstrations and tutorials, loads of tabs and jam tracks to play along with, and I promise you, everything is explained in crystal clear plain English. Check out the links in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Now you know what I'm doing in these Monday videos these days. We're alternating. One week it's all about melodic rock lead guitar, and the following week it's all about blues. And it's the turn of the blues this week. As we saw a couple of weeks ago in the last blues lesson when we looked at that gospel blues Need Your Love So Bad style chord sequence, not all blues chord sequences are just a 1, 4, 5, 12 bar 3 chord kind of structure, and that's very certainly true of what we're going to look at today. It's a chord sequence and a way of soloing over it that is reminiscent of something that my very recent research, as in about 10 minutes ago, tells me is called vaudeville blues. And, well, here's a little piece of music that I think embodies what's going on. Now, I'll be lucky if this one gets past the copyright wombles, because that chord sequence is very, very strongly associated with perhaps the best known song that uses it. The old Bessie Smith song, Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out, which was famously covered by Eric Clapton in his Derek and the Dominoes era, and then once again on his Unplugged album. And even though it's just a chord sequence and legally you can't copyright a chord sequence, and all I'm doing is improvising over the top of it, past experience tells me that said copyright wombles will just say gimme, and there you go. So I thought I'd do it anyway and just chance my arm. Anyway, as we're going to find out, it's a very accommodating chord sequence to play over. You can just take the simple pentatonic approach, which I did in parts of that solo. Just find the pentatonic that fits, kind of get your head down and crack on. Or you can get a little bit sort of nerdy and kind of play to the chord changes a little bit as well, or any combination of the both. Here is some more information on all of that.
Solo explanation.
Okay, as always, we begin with the chord sequence. It's quite a long way away from being a standard 1, 4, 5 12 bar blues, but it still does have that inherently bluesy sound. If we're in the key of C, which we are here, we start on the 1 chord, which is the C, then E7 to A7, then we kind of bounce around between that A7 and a D minor for the next little while. Then we go up to the F chord, then in common with that gospel blues thing that we looked at last time, we go to the 4 chord and then we go up a semitone and make it a diminished. So 4 chord is F, then we go to an F sharp diminished, back to the 1 chord again, into the A7 again. That's effectively a 6 chord but played as a dominant 7th. Then we have a 2 chord but played as a dominant 7th, which the 2 chord is D minor but we're playing it as a D7. And then into the 5 chord of G7. And then back to the 1 chord again. So something like this. And that sequence of chords is really adaptable for how you can play over it. You can just use the simple pentatonic options. So you can play just C major pentatonic, all of the different positions of that scale all around the neck. And just rely on your ear, really, and generally speaking, a good ploy with anything pentatonic is if you land on a note at the end of a lick and it doesn't really resolve as you would like it to, then just either move to the next note up or down. So if you land on this note and it sounds a little bit still kind of hanging in midair, take it down or take it up. That'll often resolve it. Or you might want to leave the lick unresolved and just put a little full stop or period on the end of the sentence. So, and it's much the same thing as going up or down. You just kind of just put a staccato note on the end of it. So, like that. Just something like that just kind of chops it off and stops it sounding like unresolved and dissonant. And the entire first cycle of the chord sequence, I just made a point of only playing the C major pentatonic. But you can have more fun than that if you can just keep mental track. If you've got that sort of ticker going in your head of to like which chord comes next, which chord you're on, what notes are in those chords, or even just visualize them on the fretboard. You can start introducing chord tones. One that I use quite a lot there, we go the C to the E7 to the A7. So I'm thinking, okay, A7, that's got a C sharp note, and just there's the A7 there. So like that, and then we know that's going to a D minor. So okay, well there's a D minor. I can start playing that F note that we can see is in the D minor chord. Then we head up to the F, and again, you could even extend that D minor idea into a full D minor pentatonic, which will then dovetail nicely into the F chord, because an F major basically is the relative major of D minor, so the same pentatonic works over both of them. And then a couple of times when we hit that diminished chord there, all you got to do to play over that is just find your root note. There's an F sharp, the F sharp diminished, then go up in 3 semitone intervals. So, but kind of just condense that down onto kind of closer together, going across the strings. Did that a couple of times. And really, you've got these chord notes that you can really lean into. There was one point where when we were hitting the D7, as we go into the G7, where I'm playing just these D7 sixths here. Like that. and then we hit the G7 and do this. The same thing over those, you know. That's all getting a little bit deep into, you know, the Mixolydian mode of those chords and stuff like that. But, you know, just think in terms of this lick. There's your D chord, okay, right there. And then you can take those two notes. Then there's a D chord up there. So you can take those two notes from that. So, and connect them. Maybe put a little bit of chromatic stuff in. Beautiful little bluesy lick that you can play over any 7th chord. I think I did exactly that one over the G7. So, C major pentatonic, throw in a few chord notes whenever you notice, and you don't have to target every single chord change. When I'm playing over something like this, what I like to do is, you know, just wherever it seems to settle for a while. So over the D minor, A7, D minor part. That in itself has just a little self-contained D minor tonality, so just play some D minor licks there, you know, so that there. So I've gone into like the D minor pentatonic there rather than sticking with the overall C major thing. So it's just about keeping your ears about you, noticing what's going on, and you know, playing accordingly. But as I say, you've always got that safety net of the C major pentatonic to fall back on should you get lost. So that's what I was doing. Now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with it. And as always, you'll find a full tab for the solo in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it, that explanation you've just seen there, and the jam track to play along with yourself. That is all up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description. As I'm sure you know, it's $3 or about £3 a month, and you get access to all of these additional goodies and resources that go along with these YouTube videos. And of course, a massive, massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that, or any of the other ways, all of which are downstairs in the description. Thank you so much for helping me keep the lights on around here. Much appreciated. And that is pretty much it for today, folks. I hope this has just enlivened your Monday a little bit, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it? Every little helps, as they say. And of course, don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time. We drink beer and talk about stuff, basically just beer and chat on a Friday. What's not to like about that? It's a great way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.